I dreamed of this perfect toy that would protect a kid from ever feeling lonely or sad. This is Megan.
Hi, Megan. I'm Katie. It's nice to meet you, Katie. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
That's a scene from Megan. It seems innocent enough, getting a companion robot to keep your niece company after she loses her parents. But this is a story about artificial intelligence gone bad. In what's being dubbed a killer doll picture, Megan gets a bit too close to her new pal Katie, threatening anyone she finds too intimidating. So let's dive in and bring in Jackson Weaver now to give us his review. Good morning, Jackson. What more can you tell us about who this robot Megan really is?
Well, if we're talking about Megan the movie, I might describe, keeping it PG, I might call it bonkers. If I wasn't keeping it so PG, I'd use a different B word probably. But when we're talking about Megan the character, who Megan is a Model 3 generative android in a kind of creative title. Now, you mentioned a little bit about what the movie itself is about, but as we said, Katie, played by Violet McGraw, is a 9-year-old. She loses both of her parents in a car accident. She is shunted off to live with her aunt, who creates interactive toys for kids. She herself isn't that great at interacting with kids. Now, from there, this doll is given the one express goal of protecting Katie, of learning from her, of protecting from all harm, both physical and emotional, as was just said. And I just wanted you to take a look at a clip, and you can see maybe how that starts to go wrong.
Hey, I'm sorry. Let's just talk about it. Hey.
Let me go.
Whoa. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Katie.
Go.
What are you doing? Stop it. Katie, calm down.
Let her go.
Megan, turn off.
Are you sure?
As a fan of horror, somebody who knows of this subgenre, I think you might know where this movie leads.
Oh gosh, and you know what? This demonic possessed doll is bringing back bad flashbacks to a movie with a guy named Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
similar,
absolutely.
isn't it?
This very similar. I mean, we have Annabelle as well, also created by James Wan, created both these movies. We also have The Boy, but as you said, Chucky, the Child's Play franchise, is the most apt comparison. These two films follow a very similar through line. We see, a little kid, Andy, in that film, and Katie in this new film, a doll that is always around them. And actually, earlier this year, earlier in 2022, rather, the two characters had a kind of Twitter feud, and they were going back and forth online trying to decide who was the real doll killer. You can see them there. Who is the real doll that you should be afraid of? Now, when we're still comparing these two films, though, what I would say is that the Child's Play franchise, if you saw that first movie from 1988, it really leaned into the horror. It really leaned into trying to scare you, trying to freak you out. When you're going in to see Megan, this is from the gate, out of the starting blocks. It is a horror comedy with the emphasis on comedy. This movie knows how ridiculous it is. It knows how bonkers it is, and it is really trying to get you to understand.
Okay, because I was getting the sense this might be more horror than comedy, but you say it's a bit of a relief, perhaps. It's a little more comedy.
Yeah, I don't want to, if somebody's totally afraid of horror, I don't want to say you won't be afraid at all, but this is definitely ridiculous. This is Gen Z humor. This is TikTok humor. Speaking of, there was actually a clip from this movie, a dance scene that went absolutely crazily viral, and it kind of encapsulates what this movie feels like. I want you to take a look at that scene.
Make her say something.
Stop! Don't! Megan! You should probably run. Megan, she pushed Brandon onto the road. I won't let anything harm you.
Megan, turn off.
Recalibrate. Response model.
So you saw in there's a little bit of that crawling on the ground scene. That was actually by the Megan character is played by two different people. The body is Amy Donald. She is a fantastic dancer. And as I said earlier, there was a scene in this movie where she performs a dance that the director called a 3 a.m. fever dream idea he got to throw into the movie, and it went absolutely viral all around the world. Take a look at it.
Megan?
Baby, ask you. Don't provoke us or we will go.
cries about friends.
And that kind of style of filmmaking, that kind of scene where you're just so confused about how is this scary, how is this even funny, but it just works with the audience, is absolutely what M3GAN is. There's so many scenes like that where when I was in the theater, everyone was just crying, laughing, even though there's a little bit of scary there as well.
Okay, so the final $1 million question, is it worth seeing then, even for the slightly squeamish?
It is absolutely worth seeing. I will say, I mentioned if you're absolutely against horror, like, for example, my mom hates anything even bordering horror. There's a scene in this film, I'll say, that kind of involves an ear. That's all I'll say. And if you absolutely hate horror, you will want to walk out of the theater. But if you are, a horror neophyte, somebody that wants to dip their toe into the horror genre, there's no better starting movie than M3GAN. And for everyone else, oh my goodness, I think you will love this movie. Not only that, we have definitely found the Halloween costume for this year, I think. Giving it a star rating, though, I will go 3.5 out of 5 stars.